Hey, believe it or not, it actually does get cold in Austin.
Yes.
This is like one of the rare times you're gonna see me wearing a jacket like this. But yeah, it does it does actually get cold. I don't know, as a Canadian, I may not have the right to complain about cold, but man, it's cold.
Well, by noon it'll be 80.
Yeah, by noon it'll be 80. So, when it comes to discipline and putting a schedule on yourself, that's one of the hardest things, is to discipline yourself. And I think we all struggle with that. I mean, certainly I do. You've got, again, 99 things to do, and trying to get to it when you're on your own as an entrepreneur. And the entrepreneur life is a very lonely life, and you don't have a boss, on top of you.
Sure you do.
Yeah, or well, sometimes you have a boss. But you don't have a boss that you have to account to. You have to account to yourself, and that's very difficult. But, for those of us that are married and have kids, or not married and have kids, there's an interesting phenomenon that takes place in our lives every day. And I think that that's something that we can bring in and implement. We're going around the lake? There's an interesting phenomenon that takes place with our kids and our families, that if we can learn to harness that and bring it into our entrepreneur experience, I think we would be better off for it. So our kid, our son, Zachariah, 9 years old, has a schedule where 7:30 to 3:30 he's in school. He gets back home, and 4 days out of the week, he goes off to extracurricular activity, and he does Kempo karate. So he does that after school. Well, actually, he comes home, does homework, and then after his homework, he goes to Kempo karate for about an hour, and then he also does grappling, which is kind of like wrestling. And they alternate. So one day he'll do Kempo karate, next day he'll do grappling or wrestling, and he does that every day, 4 days a week, actually 5, because he does it on Saturday as well. Now, he doesn't get any say in the matter. Sorry, it's windy. He doesn't have any say, and of course, sometimes he doesn't want to do it, right?
Yeah, he'll want to stay home.
Yeah, I mean, he gets lazy.
Video games.
He gets lazy, and sometimes like, oh, I just want to play my on my iPad and whatever. But mom and dad say, like, no, out of the question. You're gonna go because we know it's good for you. Now, let's look at the contrast between that discipline and the discipline that we put on ourselves. How many times do you say, I just don't feel like going to the gym, so I'm just gonna skip it, right? I've done that plenty of times. She's done that plenty of times. We've all done that, right? As adults, we don't have parents to report to. We don't have anybody. It's just us. And it's a heck of a lot easier to slack off when you don't have that disciplined party. So if we could apply the discipline that we enforce on our kids and the crazy schedules that we put them through, and I know so many parents that do that, school and then soccer and then piano. Oh yeah, he has piano after all that too, by the way, every day. So his schedule's jam-packed and he has no alternatives. If we could just think about ourselves, that we're like children, entrepreneurs, we're like children, and we should follow the guidelines that our quote-unquote parents, have put on us to be successful, then that's what we got to do. And, quit your bitching and your whining and just get out there and do it. And it's amazing how much success you'll see. Are you going to be 100% every day and feel like a go-getter? No. I missed the gym last week because I was traveling to Fort Lauderdale, but I went on Monday. I really didn't want to go, but I went, and I kind of, I didn't try as hard. I wasn't feeling up to it, but I was still there, right? And it's a struggle. I mean, nobody's perfect, and you got to go and try and try and try again. And entrepreneurship is the same thing. Your drive is never going to be there 100%. These videos, I do them for myself, probably primarily than for you guys, because it's a way that I keep myself accountable. And if it helps somebody else, which from your comments, I know it does. I appreciate that. Then great. And that's how we're encouraging ourselves. We're being parents to ourselves, you know, that we don't have our parents to be accountable to as much anymore. All right. Happy selling.